He was on it.
Well, I thought he was on it.
Yeah, that's what I thought from the council.
Yeah, I thought that's how it was, that he was on the board.
Right.
But I had the same question, how does a city employee be on the board? That was my first question. Yeah.
You're here as staff. There's a difference between being staff president and actually voting on the board. It's almost a conflict of interest.
That was my first question the next morning I had, because I'm pretty sure he got voted on by the council.
Yeah, right. Well, and even in the announcement, he was on the board, on the announcement. So.
Okay, sorry everybody.
What in the hell?
I know. Blame Elk Valley.
Dick,
It's not my meeting.
okay, so you ready then?
Yep.
Okay, then I'm good. Let me join this in. I'm just here to listen. Make sure this runs properly.
Okay, in order to parliamentary procedure. So we can start, we say who's here.
Yes, you do need to take a roll.
Okay, Chris Eastman?
I'm here. I'm on the board, but I'm not on the board.
You're not on the board. Okay. Alex Rodriguez? Anthony Oakford here. Scott LaSalle?
Here.
Brendan Schwartz not here. Maybe Beaver not here. There's 5. Do you establish quorum yet?
You're ready to go.
Perfect. Okay. Introduction of guest selected officials, city staff. I think we're good there, yeah?
Maybe finding the new role of new knowledge of Chris not being on the board, which was something we thought. So I think it's now that you are a city employee, correct? You are no longer part of the golf advisory committee.
As a board, do we get to advise on that, or on that decision made, or have input regarding that decision being made?
I might be in error. I don't think so, but I do not believe I can think of any other board that has a city employee as a voting member on that board. It would be, you'd be the first, and I'd really love to have an attorney tell me how.
Yeah, I feel like his insights and experience in the golf industry would be beneficial to the board.
And he can be here and is currently here as a member of the city staff. He's here to answer your questions. That would be an appropriate role. As a liaison to you, so I can answer questions for you.
So he can, just to clarify for everybody, so he can serve as in an advisory role, but as long as he has no voting ability, then we're...
As I understand it, he would not be able to make any motions or speak in support or against any motions or take any vote on any motions.
Awesome. Okay. I would like to go on the board, but all that makes sense to me, as long as we still have you in a capacity.
I'll help you. I'm going to go.
Awesome. Any other introductions? Guests, elected officials, city staff? We're all good, yeah? Approved minutes from 4/23/2026.
What is our secretary?
Yeah. So how does that work?
You'll have to table it.
Okay. Okay. And financial report, is that where you provide us exactly?
Mr. President, members of the committee, I did drop off. I went in and asked for this. It'll be something you need to be requesting through Tiffany going forward. We want this kind of information. 2 sheets in front of you. One of them is the revenue with comparison to budget for the 7 months of the current fiscal year. The other is expenditures compared to the budget for the 7 months that we're into this fiscal year. Let me start with,
I have the same page.
you have the same page. Which one are you missing?
I have page 5, both of mine.
You have the expenditures or the revenues?
Mine says revenues.
Okay, here's an expenditure. You wouldn't mind, Chris?
I got you.
Got it? Oh, revenues. Golf course fund is in the bottom third of that page. You see listed the way it reads, there's the period actual, which is and they should be almost the same, the period that this report was generated. Then the year-to-date actual, the budget, what is unearned is the difference between the budget and the actual, and that percentage is the percentage that the actual represents. So for Pro Shop sales, it's 0 across the board. We didn't budget for any Pro Shop sales this year. There's a budget in here for $500. I'm not sure where that came from. I don't recall the city council setting that, but I wasn't on council then, so. And of course, there's been nothing realized revenue-wise from that because there's been no sales. The cart storage. Was budgeted to bring in $245,000.
Green fees.
No, this is cart storage. I'm sorry, 21,000.
21,000.
Yeah, 21. I didn't even know it said bifocals. Cart storage, $21,610. They've actually had $21,117.31 to date. That means that they're about $493 against what was budgeted, against the projected budget, which puts them in 97.5% of hitting that target for the budget. Green fees was projected to bring in $245,000. So far, they've collected $91,362. About 37% of the projected revenues coming from green fees have been realized through the first 7 months of this year.
And that's actually higher. I just did a little report for January 1 comparison of 25 to January 1 till April 30th. So in January 1 of 25, did a total of 73,056. This year, from January 1 till April 30th, you did 103,633.
So that combines 2 budget years. I'm looking at the city's fiscal year budget. You've gone back
running from
October.
From October 1st
Yes.
to September 30th.
October to September is fiscal.
Yeah, just did January 1.
So as far as green fees go, I'm not gonna tell you what I think about that, other than I'll simply say a lot of the months we're talking about from October till April are not known as the world's fastest moving golf months.
Right.
So I take the 37% with a bit of a grain of salt, because we do have a seasonal sport we're looking at, around here anyway. And then you go through each one, whether you're looking at punch cards or season passes, user fees, the trail fees. The trail fees, I was very pleased to see mirror very closely the cart storage. Looks like everybody that's got a rental space is paying their fees, trail fees. The monthly passes are a little below what we would expect, but again, you're talking about stuff done during the winter, essentially, through this part of the year.
That's not concerning to you because typically if somebody's going to, oh, I'm sorry, never mind, that's monthly pass.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah. if you go down to 24-372-2500 on that far left column, you'll see the transfer for the pump project. That was the $297 that were brought in and have been paid out for the pump project. They have listed here a $500,000 grant. To my knowledge, no grants have ever been written or received. So you'll see 0% there, so that's not going to be realized. So when you look down at the very bottom of the sheet, through the first 7 months, when the city council set the budget last year, they set a budget of $1.9 million, 1.930587. Out of that, we already know $500,000 of that, and that grant's not going to come in. That takes you down to 1.43. So in total, through this 7 months, the course has brought in $614,159.40. Trying to get to the budget of 1.930. That leaves you 31%. Means you hit 31%, almost 32% of your anticipated revenue. It looks dire, but I will tell you it's not as dire as it looks, because we're about to get into the season where money starts changing hands here.
So this weekend, it's kind of my first real weekend here. Saturday we did 4,100, Sunday we did 4,500.
In green fees?
Green peas and carrots. So just those 2 days, 8,600 this weekend.
The other page, the expenditures compared to the budget, goes through all the different operating expenses and the salaries for the golf course. And the percentage numbers in that far right column is the percentage of the expenses compared to the budget.
So what is the fringe city portion?
That's where things like insurance, vacation, sick leave is paid from.
Okay.
What is meetings, schools, and dues?
That's like for me to go to classes, for the pro to go to classes, mechanic to go to classes, stuff like that.
Well, I don't have to go to classes. I got to pay my PGA dues, which
That comes out of there.
I just got May 1st. I get the billing and I have to pay it because I switched my status. I'm a lifetime PGA member, but now I'm an active lifetime PGA member. So I just switched that today. So I'll have dues that are due, which I can't get. I just switched it today. So because I was a lifetime member, it was only $200, so it saved me $600. But Golf Galaxy paid for it when I was working there. It was, I'm gonna say it's $7 to $750, just off the top of my head.
Pays my GCSA superintendent dues, stuff like that.
Gotcha.
But I don't know if it shows it was overdrawn on there. It's not. So a due got paid twice, and they just reimbursed us.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it shows you over by 266.
Yeah, it's not. They're sending it back.
Double posting.
They called me Thursday, I think. It told me that it was paid twice, so they're sending it back. Like typically, I do pay TJ's stuff out of his PJ dues out of their stuff too.
Okay.
The rest of the year.
many did we book last weekend? How many runs do we have?
The 105 on Saturday, 132 on Sunday. But we have some issues with that's why I put on their tea time reservation system and with their credit card machine. And, you know, we're not on that item yet, but when we get to item 3, I can explain the ForeUp golf reservation system. I don't want to jump in.
Okay, this is great. Like, and the reason behind our ask for this is like we can use this information. Like I'm already just writing notes down and just kind of mapping it out. We can use this information to set goals and see where we need to go and how we measure those as we go. What we can recommend to in achieving those goals. Like for just some quick math right now, so we need to go. We need to push $263,000 in revenue a month to meet the budget. Yeah. And then for the rest of the fiscal year. And then we mapped out rounds need to equal 1,040 a month for the rest of the fiscal year. We need 1,000 rounds a month.
Yeah. April, I just did the month of April to see what we did in revenue. It was 48,523. So if we do that times 5, we're going to be close. But there's ways to get more golfers out here.
Yeah, for sure. And that's what we're
yeah.
we're going to work together to get there. Yeah, okay. Awesome. I think, is that, was there anything else you'd like to
It's 12,000.
speak to or anything
I
on
would say,
there?
if you have any other questions specifically around the budgets, you can email Paula
Okay.
Stefanski. I would highly recommend that the questions come from the chair, the president.
Yeah.
So if you guys, other you have questions, send them to him and then let him contact Paula.
Chris, what was the total?
And how would you prefer our recommends or
In previous year, April?
email to written statement to?
If you're going to make a recommendation to the mayor and the council, you need to do it in a formal vote.
Yep.
And then that motion will contain what you want to send forward.
Okay.
So if you want to recommend that Sundays be a free golf day, that's the way your motion's going to read, as the board is recommending the city council and mayor provide free golf on Sundays. All in favor? Yay, nay. And then that goes forward.
And then out of our board meeting, how is that presented to the mayor and council? We vote on it.
It'll be in your minutes.
Okay. And then the city council just take those minutes.
The city council will get a packet before the meetings, and if we have questions, we will send those out.
Okay.
We can have a discussion on those. So that takes care of my input for the financial report.
Send any more emails for.
Thanks.
Jake, just a question on that pump house behind 18.
Yeah,
What's that story there?
it's just a well.
Oh, it's a well.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
okay.
it dries up usually every year.
Uh-huh.
So I try to use it when the ditch isn't running.
Okay, I've never been in there, so I don't know what
Yeah,
was
it's
in
just
it.
a well, and it's actually the packing on it needs to be replaced. That's why there'll be water out there
Right,
when I'm
right.
running
That's
it.
what I was
But,
wondering if that was
I
something.
mean,
All right, that's a well. All right.
yeah, so typically I'll run it in the spring and I'll run it in the fall. It doesn't put out a whole lot. But, and I think it's dried up on me every year
Has it?
that I've used.
Really? Okay.
So like a couple years back, the ditch went off July 4th.
Yeah.
I had to use it, and eventually it just ran out.
Gotcha. Okay.
So,
Cool.
Okay. And can you remind me of somebody to get Paul Stefanski's role?
She's the treasurer.
Budget.
Treasurer's budget. Okay.
Just for the budget.
well, I guess I'm gonna get my ducks in a row. So ahead of our next meeting, we want to see where we're at financially. Email Tiffany.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, you have questions about the budget, I'd say send them to Paul.
Okay.
So if you're wanting to get a report for the month of May, when those numbers are available, I would send the request to Paul.
Okay, next move. Any other questions or comments on the financials? Move to city input issues. Item 5. A V-Decker, yeah?
Not for me, nothing here.
Okay. So move to item 6.
I was looking at the car.
Jake, do you have any?
I'll just hear guys' questions if you need them.
Real quick too, Jake did print out a copy of the green schedule, so we all have that as well.
That's not day to day, right? You want day to day, I'll give you day to day, but
I think this will be good for us to work around tournaments and stuff like that, but I just want to make sure that everyone's on the same page with it. Getting, so we know at least the main
some of
limits.
yeah, some of that stuff is you can't just write that down and be like, okay, it's the 26th, I'm gonna spray greens because it might be windy or maybe I had to spray, you know what I mean, and like stuff like that. So that's kind of just a tentative schedule for you. And Jeff has all those dates in the calendar on the T-sheet, all that stuff.
Okay.
Right, Jeff, you have all that blocked off?
Yeah, this stuff that needs to be blocked off.
Okay.
The rest of it, I just got notes on.
I guess you're a city employee. Do you have any input issues, Chris?
There's item 6, the new T10 reservation system.
Okay.
I'd like to thank Jeff for helping that look together, but I also did 3 different Zoom calls with 3 different companies that I'm familiar with. Golf Now is one of them.
Are we on 3? Is that where we went to?
Well, we're still on item 5, I guess.
We can see if there's any other items that need to be brought forward.
Forest maintenance bill.
Well, as far as the city input and issues, so Decker's part of the city, Jake's part of the city, you're part of the city now, so just.
If you have something that's not listed later on the agenda,
Yeah.
this would be the place to bring it up.
You're here now.
Okay, no. Okay, everything on the agenda is perfect.
You guys, I have to apologize. I thought it was at 6 and someone told me 6:30.
It shows right here, 6:30. Yeah, 6:30, held on May 4th at 6:30, the agenda of the golf advisory.
I must have changed it.
Yeah.
Either way.
Well, we would have been, because, she said.
We established it last meeting at 6, and I think that was just a copy paste over from the original agenda.
Okay, well, we apologize. We went off of that one.
We've never been.
That's right.
Like, oh, they're down to 5 already.
Say usually the women are always early.
Yeah. Not us.
No, not
Roll.
sorry.
Can we update our roll to show that Brenda Schwartz and May Weaver are here?
Chores.
Schwartz. Sorry.
That's okay.
Okay, can we move to item 6? Discussion action item, city employee golf pro position.
And that's you, I take it?
No, you guys are recommending me.
There is no pro right
I'm
now,
not gonna
right?
recommend him.
You're recommending to the city council that I'm a golf professional. I have an intense knowledge of that in my history. And you're recommending me as a city employee that I guess that the title is a golf pro.
And what does that entail now that the city has, I mean, what will your duties be? Will you be giving lessons? What basically will you be providing?
So I'm working directly with the ladies tomorrow. I'm going to be working with the men Wednesday. Thursday, I'm going to try to put together that as a junior program day with Parks and Rec, which I'm working on that. I'm available to do lessons, which I've set some rates for those. You know, the more you buy, the cheaper it gets. I'm running the T-sheet on Saturdays and Sundays. All right, it's a different way than you guys have ever seen it run. I greet everybody and meet everybody in the parking lot. I have a starter sheet that we document their cart number, so I control the pace of play. I tell every group, I take them to the number 1 tee, and I had a pace of play of an hour and 30 minutes for 9 holes going on Sunday. Everybody's expected to be on hole 6 in an hour. And if they're not there, then I know where my problem is for the rest of the day. Now, the way we got the Pro Shop set up, I can see holes 1 and 6 and 9. Everybody asks them if they played the golf course before. So I give them direction that, well, we need to keep the carts out of the roughs. We need to, I'd like to get you the first 9 holes under 2 hours. You have to go past the cart sheds to hole number 10, and I have my little red cart that I'm going around marshalling. But I know what the pace of play is by the time people get to 6th green. Because I have the cart number, I have what time they teed off, and it's, you know, I'm out there make my face known.
Go ahead, Jake.
I probably shouldn't say anything. I was just going to say I should be here just to listen.
I value all input.
We want your input.
I want all input and
Really.
Well,
perspective.
I think I'm on the same page as all of you guys, right? We want the pro to run the tournaments. We want the pro to give lessons. We want the pro to, you know, all those kind of things that a pro would do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think that's probably where you were going with
Yeah,
the question.
that's
right?
exactly, because now that the
Like the
city's
day-to-day
taken
stuff.
over,
Yeah.
and I understand things are a little different from the last one we had, so what are those differences? What's
I
the
would-
same?
I would think, like, I don't know, I would think as a city pro, you would be all the stuff he just said, right?
Mhm.
Giving lessons,
I would think so.
Running the pro
running the
shop,
pro shop,
running the
running the
tournaments.
tournament.
So this is Saturday, our first event. Okay. And Jeff and I are working together this. We have 84 players. We're creating signage and staging.
Well, what's it for?
Come on now.
Because I haven't seen anything for a tournament coming
It's the
up.
Daniel Dobbs.
Shops.
Rodeo
Oh, that's
tournament.
right.
Jobs.
Yeah, it's a Dobbs tournament. That's
Did
what-
we sign up for that? Oh, I didn't hear that.
I've got a list of the players right here. So we're going to be signing cards to each individual. They'll have a sign. Once I get my official signs, but I'm making my own card signs that will be taped on the windshield for everybody renting a cart. And then we're going to be max. This is something you don't close the golf course for an event. So they'll be teeing off so I can get number 1 tee reopened for general public play at ASP.
So the reverse shotgun.
Yeah, it's basically reverse gun. And then so the next tournament, I met with her today, and we've got St. Luke's tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah. So we're prepping for these days, but we're not having course closure like in the past. Okay. Of course, on the Simply, yes, you got to. All right. But
Well, I know the leukemia one takes.
yeah, and I've got a listing all that. I got all this. So I've got the numbers, but now it's a matter of getting the numbers and prepping a week before, basically, is what it's going to be done. So, you know, things go as smooth as possible, and I'll be out there greeting, meeting people, and making sure we put all the sponsor signs together today, moved them, so they're going to meet with me Friday night, and everything's ready to go Saturday.
So I guess my question is like, what are we discussing or taking action on? Whether we want you to be the pro or not, or what your duties are?
Well, if you
I think he's already been hired, hasn't he?
Yes, I was going to say, he's hired, he's in there, right?
Right, he's seasonal right now.
Eastman's current position is as a seasonal employee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think
The golf pro was a contract position. It was by the former contractor. Right now, the closest thing, the only thing above the seasonal employee is the golf manager, which is currently Jeff. There are no other positions that I'm aware of that are currently city staff positions. You would have to create such a position.
Which would have to go to the council.
Bear in mind, we say this, the golf pro that was contracted not only dealt in instruction, but also ran the pro shop. If you follow the city council at all, there is a strong resistance to us investing money into the pro shop to buy merchandise in order to have the city be running the pro shop. I'll stop that because that's your next action item discussion coming up. But as today, as I know it, Mr. Eastman is working as a seasonal employee.
Now our discussion will revolve around whether we would like him to move into a permanent pro position.
Well, whether or not you want the city to create
Yeah.
a city employee
position.
position.
So that needs to be the discussion, is that we recommend putting Chris into a pro
Well,
position.
I don't think I'm looking at it more broadly than that, like, not necessarily Chris. I'm not saying no. More so, should the golf pro position be a city position or should it be a contracted?
Yes.
The city has been using a hybrid approach to this for as long as I've been around Mountain Home. There's only been, I think, one time when we didn't have a contract pro in place, and that was short-lived.
So just to kind of echo Decker, I think last council meeting that we really talked about this position, I think it was Jenny Worklow wanted to wait till the golf board was put together and kind of get your guys' thoughts on the direction you want to move forward. So with the pro, contract, or city.
I would open up that discussion with a question: is what is advantageous of having it as contracted, and why would it be advantageous to have it as a city employee?
Well, the problem with city employee, they have hours, 9 to 5. So if you're doing a night tournament, is that city employee going to be there?
Jake set a schedule for me today.
No. So if the city employee is a pro, he's salaried position, just like me. Like, I don't have 9 to 5, right?
Right.
Work.
Okay, that's,
I can work 60 hours a week if that's what was required. And
Okay.
we do, right? Like on the weekends, we're working, typically in the summertime, we're doing 48 hours a week, maybe more, give or take, and we try to rotate it. But that's how that would come across, I think, is the pro, say the pro or is a salaried employee, so he's working whatever he has to work to make it happen. Like that's how it's been at every golf course I've worked at, and I'm guessing you'd probably say the same thing, right?
Yeah, this is the season. I'm used to work every day. May 8 and October.
no, I was just saying because we have one city that he would close down at 5 and say, just drop the keys off.
And I'll say this, like you guys do what you want to do, right? But I can tell you with all the golf courses I've called, I know Decker and the mayor have gone to Lakeside. The golf courses, city golf courses, Lakeview. Yeah, sorry, I worked at a Lakeside, that's why I said that. But they're going to a city employee because that's how the city they have more options to be able to generate revenue doing that. When you do, like you can go out there and look and do your research and stuff, but I think you'll find out that there's more city pros now than there are contract.
When you say more options, though, are we not just seeing the fact that the city council has no interest in a pro shop?
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's another.
Isn't that an option that's actually taking away?
Yeah, and I think that's something that we have to discuss, right? And we maybe as a board, you can, and in which we, like Decker said, we have no money in this budget to go buy stuff unless it magically appears.
So if you have no money to buy it, then if we go with a pro on the, a city contractor pro rather than a hybrid, then we will not have a pro shop per se.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, we could
I could fill that shop in a week.
We could say, since we don't have the budget this year, we can vote in for the next year and say, let's get this pro shop
I mean, I know
That's a lot.
Tiffany and I sat down and we presented it in the council meeting and stuff, like you could also, it's just another option. It's probably why I shouldn't come to these meetings, I probably talk too much. But, there's another, like, we worked it out to where, like, if you, instead of hiring a golf pro, you hire the clubhouse manager, because we already have that position available, right? So we're not adding another position and raising the pay or anything like that. It's already in the budget. And then you see how that plays out this year. Maybe you figure out where you're getting your, like for tournaments, maybe this year you have to go a different route to get your winnings, you know, and then see how it works this year. And then maybe next year you put it in the budget to have the city.
I have the capability of stocking that shop if needed. That's-
Either way,
But,
either way, Chris.
yeah, like I know you.
To get through this year, if that's what needs to be done, I have a partner.
as a seasonal or city employee,
Well, that's what-
are you able to? Can you?
That's what needs to be, maybe get through this year as a contractor city.
I'll ask Jake, was there any other course that consulted besides Lakeview? Because Lakeview's the only Meridian owned one, right? So
Yeah.
Warm Springs and Quail Hollow are both city courses. Ridgecrest and Centennial both city courses.
All
And
do.
Purple Sage are city
All
courses.
do
All
city
City of
routes.
Idaho Falls, all the
City
Blackfoot.
Yeah, I called Blackfoot. I had conference call set up, but we didn't take it. Their pro was going to talk about it, how they used to be contract and they decided no because of making more money. And the same thing with Purple Sage, like the superintendent, like I had Purple Sage and I did this, had conference calls when they were working out the hybrids this last time, but no one, like I set up a whole meeting for the council to come and listen to this. So the lady that was in charge, I believe it was Caldwell, that's where it started first in the valley. And they turned it around, the council said turn it around in 3 years or something like that. Or maybe they said 5 and they had it turned around in 3. And then that lady ended up going with Meridian or Boise, and she helped transition all those cities into it. And I had a conference call set up with the last, like this council goes back to when it was James Green and stuff, when DJ was working, when they were trying to figure out that hybrid. Not one council member showed up to the conference call. So at that point I was like, you know, what do we do there? So, but that's the trend. That's the trend right now. And I think Decker touched on it a couple council meetings ago. It's a trend because the pros want the insurance, the retirement that comes with it. It's more, your job security is a little bit better, right, than it is at a country club and stuff like that. And then,
What do you want, Chris?
Yeah, as a current professional, what would you say would be a better setup?
Well, I like the idea of being a city employee.
Do you think that, and I'm thinking like, if I think in a 5-year plan, 10-year plan, does the city employee, does as a city position help or harm this city's ability to recruit another high quality professional after your time is done?
So I was there when they did this in Idaho Falls. It was a 3-year buyout where they bought out the carts, and then they got leased new carts after 3 years. They bought out the pros over a 3-year process. All the pros in Idaho Falls love it.
I do.
Yeah. I have no problem. I'd prefer to be a city professional.
And in your estimation, do you feel like the next professional after you would be encouraged or discouraged to accept the position? Basically, there's
I think they would be
encouraged.
Yeah.
My next question would be, which route benefits the community and the golfer and enhances the citizen experience of the golfer? I think that's probably the most important voice in the room for this decision. It's like, you know, is it best for city council? Is it best for the city? Is it best for the pro? Well, we need 5,000 more rounds this year.
And I'm willing to do whatever to get through this fiscal year. You know, I have the capability of stocking that shop. I've got a partner, another golf professional that will help me stock that shop if we need to do that to get through the year. And then if the city just determines they want to own the shop, I can prove to you, I'll be glad to, you know, prove to you that pro shop can make money.
No, I,
No, 100% agree.
Oh, I'm on
100%.
board with that. I know it can.
It's a no-brainer.
right, but I agree 100% with you, but it's not us that have to agree with you.
Right.
I guess my thing is after seeing
You have to have a
how it
golf.
was
You
run
have to have a golf
by the
professional to
city.
get a Titleist account.
That's where I was going to go.
Yeah, I think one way or another there needs to be a golf professional. In my opinion, there needs to be a golf professional at the course. Now, with what capacity, I don't know. I'm just saying I don't know. What I prefer the route that best serves the community and the golfer, and that would be the first priority. And then second priority was what's most beneficial from the city perspective. And third priority would be the answer to the question: what makes the position most attractive?
So it sounds like
So-
we're, go ahead.
So if it's city, if the answer to that is city employee is the pro, that enhances the golfer customer experience, then sure, yes, I'd recommend that. If the second one is the city pro, and it makes it more attractive, all those are a city thing, I support that.
I've been here when the city ran it, and I've seen what TJ did. I saw it go downhill when the city ran it before. I'm not saying it would now, okay? Past is a past, but the only thing we have to draw on and experience is the past too. And I saw what happened under that. I saw what happened under TJ, who had some skin in the game, right? And it really started to take off with him. So that is my concern. And this is absolutely no slam on you at all. I'm sure you're a fine, upstanding man, and you will do whatever you can to get this going. I have no reservations about that whatsoever. My concern is moving forward. Well, the next guy we put in, will he have that same fire in his belly as you do? And if he doesn't, what does that mean for the golf experience?
That should come back to this committee to have somewhat of a say in it, and that would be up to us or whoever's in our positions, moving forward.
Because right now, we can say, okay, Chris, you're gonna be a city employee. And 10 years down the road, he says, I'm done, I'm retiring. Now we can throw,
Now we know how it works, but current state, starting for this year, to get this resolved, it sounds like it almost needs to be a hybrid and let Chris bring in everything for the pro shop alone, and then have everything else be on that city side of things as far as the lessons, the carts, whatever it needs to be, whatever he's doing outside of that. We'll let Chris run with the pro shop for the first year and say, okay, now come 2027, Chris, we saw what you did great, it's awesome, let's bring this in.
As a city,
As a full city employee.
yes.
Folks, I will tell you, I really am concerned on a couple of levels, so I'll just go ahead and say it. As an advisory board, you're not a hiring authority.
No, we can make the recommendation though.
You can make a recommendation. That recommendation may or may not be followed.
Understood. We've seen that.
Yep. We've all seen it one time or another, different committees and such. I will tell you that if you make a recommendation that is uber specific, it's more likely to be debated. My initial concern right now, and now I'm starting to talk too much, Jay.
I'm trying to be quiet.
I don't know what mechanics Mr. Eastman has. I know right now there's no contract to do sales in that pro shop. I don't know where the funding perspective would come from, and I don't think accounts can be established without having it cleared through the administration first to set up those accounts. That'd be a violation of the city's purchasing policy. So if you keep your recommendations to the goals you're trying to receive, you're trying to get to, and the mechanism, the broad mechanism for getting there, whether it's hybrid or city employee or pick somebody outside the street that needs a job, be careful not to get too specific into the weeds of what you're looking to do. Keep your mind focused on what that's going to look like rather than who's going to get it done. And then let the folks that have to deal with the legal side of it figure that out.
Yeah, for me, I'm not as confident in making a recommendation until I know what the reporting structure would be. To kind of maybe piggyback what you're talking about, Scott, like as a full city pro, that is 100%, that means you are 100% beholden to the city council. I don't know if they want
Actually,
to.
that's an administrative piece. Personnel fall under the mayor. And where the city council comes in is the budgeting.
Mhm.
And you've seen this in state government often enough. I won't tell you what may or may not happen here, but it's not unusual to have a bunch of manning positions on the book and the budget guys don't fund them.
Right.
So there is that balance, that check and balance between what comes up on the administration side, because I can't tell either of these gentlemen what to do. I can't tell Paula and those folks what to do. I can only ask the mayor. He's given me permission to contact them directly. That's a personnel. That's their part of the world. My liaison with you is I'm looking at what are the policy issues, because we set policy on city council. What are the budgetary issues? Because we set the budgets every year. And that's the kind of guidance I need most from this committee, just starting out. What is your vision? What do you want the policy of the city to be? What would you recommend to the city its policy be about how we handle this golf course? What's your recommendation about what you believe your constituents will support when it comes to fees, when it comes to whether or not the city makes it a completely city-operated organization? And then the council and the mayor take up the business of trying to figure out what makes the most sense for not only everybody, but the entire community, not just the golfing community.
I don't know if I'm jumping again, but roughly, Chris, I don't know if you have a number. What's a ballpark number to fill up the pro shop?
Well, typically, you're trying to rotate that. So
That inventory,
yeah,
right?
3 times.
Okay. But startup. What do you just? And I could be, I'm just on the dark, but
50,000.
Well, the city is not interested.
Doing that.
Tell me if I'm wrong. The city is not.
I cannot speak for the council. No individual member can speak for the entire council.
Okay.
I will
From what
simply, I will
my
simply,
understanding is, the city is not really interested in moving forward with a pro shop this year. I see no reason why the city council would have a problem with you taking it on your onus then to actually show them what it might possibly do for them in the future. I mean, is that fair enough to
Because
say?
I think that's a slightly off.
Okay.
What I've heard council members talk about is the city not being in competition with local businesses and feeling uncomfortable spending money that wasn't budgeted this year to stock such a facility. There was also some discussion about whether or not a separate contract could be let out for that shop to be operated, that pro shop to be operated. And with the revenues that could generate and with the space involved, kind of like what we have with TJ, it would have to be contracted to someone to do that. And I do not believe a city employee can have
do
that
that.
contract.
So yeah,
So,
Aaron,
like I said, it's when you get in the minutia, you're trying to start at the root and go up instead of looking at it from 50,000 feet. It runs you around in circles down low. Figure out what your goal is, and then we start burrowing down to how to get the nuts and bolts in place. And who's got to say
Take small
yes?
steps. And your performance, I mean, not to say that your performance wouldn't be great, Chris. I have all high hopes. I think it's great that you want to be there. But it's all going to be performance. What kind of lessons? Like we have children's lessons that are done on a lot of holiday weekends, and summer coming up. You say you're working with the rec department, which is great. But that's going to take for the council and the public to see how things are doing before we jump too fast.
Yeah, so I would say I would make a move to have Chris Eastman be the city employee golf pro for year 2026. And the reason why is that what we're discussing, right?
yes.
Say that again. What is your motion again?
To have Chris be the city golf pro, city employee golf pro for the year 2026
I think he already is.
He's a seasonal employee.
seasonal right now.
Okay.
I don't know what the difference is, I guess.
So he's
Again, there is no golf pro position currently on city administrative rosters.
Okay, so
So we need to create.
we need to create that.
Your recommendation would be for the city to create such a position.
yes,
I
and
would agree with that.
yeah, And have Chris fill it for the remainder of this golf season. With this and
Recommendations on who can do it, you can put it in there now. But when you're talking a salary level position with the kind of salary you'd have to have the range for, that's gonna have to be competed.
yeah, I'm open to that. Yeah, I
So-
recommend that too. I would recommend.
Putting the gentleman's name in your recommendation would be, seen by some as problematic when you haven't even opened it up for applicants yet.
Right, so
Haven't created a position yet.
what we need to do is create the position. Our recommendation is create the position of golf pro city employee
Right.
for the beginning of this year, seasonal, and then next year, full-time.
Well, I have reservations on that. I would like to come back up to discussion at the end of fiscal year whether it should be a contract hybrid or a city position. Because I don't know how the reporting structure looks. I'm wary of a city employee reporting directly to the mayor without any kind of autonomy, based on the way the last couple of years have gone. So those are my reservations. That's why I would like it to be. That's why I would like the caveat of being for the remainder of the golf season, and we can evaluate how this golf season went
Okay.
under that. That's any clarity or questions regarding that.
But once again, that isn't up to us to decide that.
No,
Well, I'm
I
saying
can't.
for future, we
Yeah,
can
we're
do
going to
recommendations, but
decide it.
future,
Yeah,
future side of things that they could say, yep, nope.
yeah, they can decide how they want.
Make
But I mean,
decisions, but
I wouldn't be comfortable recommending wholeheartedly that should be
Right
that
now,
should be
Get moving forward.
correct.
yeah,
Yeah,
Correct.
forever.
Right now.
Yeah.
I wouldn't feel comfortable recommending that be the way forward in perpetuity. Just, the evidence has been there. Not nothing against you, Chris. Just, I mean, I fully expect it to go awesome. So, and be no issues. That's my full expectation. And then be 100% confidence in the recommendation going forward.
yeah,
Next
there's no
fall.
doubt, there's no doubt that you're going to outperform any of this, but
And just like today, at this moment in time, I can't confidently recommend what it should be.
I also don't want to set you up for failure, Chris. If something does change. Because we've seen it.
The only thing I would say is that I think that if give that a chance, right? So
Yeah,
this year maybe
certainly.
not long enough, right? Because you starting by the
I
time
get that.
if this ever came to a thing, like
Yeah.
at the end of the year we want to try
But the
this.
signs will be there, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
Right.
you're gonna want to have the pro shop, all that stuff, be able to see if that's successful or not, right? And that might be
We'd have
next year.
a good idea of what it would be moving forward after the year. I totally get that.
correct.
And that's why I think Mr. Hofer is just a little hesitant about nailing it down permanently. You know, in other words, a year-to-year type thing. At least while we're trying to figure this out.
Yeah.
I understand that.
Yeah. I mean, and I think the course community needs some stability and some leadership of a
Very much
professional
so.
caliber now. So which is why I would like to
Very
have
much so.
something recommended now, but have a horizon on it for an up for discussion at the end of the fiscal year.
But I'm sorry, I thought we were on item 2, which is why I launched the pro shop. So,
No.
okay, and on that pro shop, that's a tough nut then, based on what Decker said, because
So, hold on. So, do we need to formally make a formal motion and vote on that? Okay, so I move that that we create a city employee golf pro position and open that up for competition.
second that.
Give a motion in a second, so now you need to record the vote.
Okay.
All in favor?
All in favor? Brenda, what's your aye, nay?
Aye.
Scott?
Aye.
Hi.
Nay. Anthony? Aye. Alex? Aye.
Yeah, and we need to make sure we're doing that so that it's recorded for the minutes.
Yeah. You'll definitely have
And you'll do it
to,
by individual vote.
you'll definitely have to like coach us on this parliamentary procedure as we go, Decker.
You worked through the first one.
Okay, so let's move with that. Maps, let's go to discussion item 2. City operates the pro shop and inventory.
With what he was saying, I don't think we can recommend that, but if it's up to the mayor for this season, I think it's up to the mayor and Chris how to figure that out. if he's going to take on the,
Well, there's no contract currently, so we need to, at least what I'm gathering is that we need to make a recommendation to open the pro shop as a contract.
Right.
Is that clear? Does that sound correct? If we are to,
Yeah, because we just established we want to create the golf pro position, right?
Mhm.
So obviously, if that's Chris, he's not going to be able to run that pro shop because he's a
city employee.
I think
So
But-
therein lies the sticky wicket.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, however,
I think
Chris says you have a partner that can assist that. Could we make, thinking long term, we opened it up, could we contract Chris's partner to come in there? Chris is actually not handling it while he's involved, but we could actually have the partner run everything through him.
This
So
year.
for this year.
Mhm.
And do it for a year to get this filled up.
yeah.
We
So
can make that that could be the recommendation.
yeah, So let me see if I clarify for my own will too. Well, one, I think not having a pro shop and not having that is doing a disservice to the community and the golfing community. And so we need to figure out a way to get that going. Now, is that possible then?
There are always options. This is where I get to use that phrase my very first professor said in my very first public admin class. It all depends. The city has funds in its contingency in this year's budget. It would require the city council to vote to use it. So that's one option. The other observation I'll make, and the other one is to recommend that there be a vendor, contractor, to provide the retail for the pro shop. But I will tell you that the contractor that just left was also the contractor for golf instruction. And right now, there is nothing in any city employee's job description that includes that provision
Of lessons?
of lessons. That was a contract. TJ Hill
Right,
had a contract for that, along with the retail on the pro shop. So right now, you guys will take a look at and hopefully make a recommendation you can make a recommendation to city council, they spend money out of the contingency staff that shop and the city take over retail responsibilities for that. You can recommend that. You can recommend that it be contracted back out and have folks bid to actually run their own retail shop out of that.
Can I present a question in the form of idea that maybe you can answer, Dr.? Sure. Best. Okay.
Because I'm kind of walking the fence here right now too.
So let me get you out there real quick. So what would stop Jared Lemieux from being able to purchase and sell golf merchandise out of that pro shop under the Birdie's name, since he's already in the building?
The biggest challenge is fair and open competition. When you're going to let a contract, when you've already picked who you're going to have in there, you're inviting a legal challenge you will lose every time.
But does it need to be a fresh and separate contract?
Right now, that's what you're trying to fill. The hole was created by the last contract expiring. So your option is to get another contract in place or recommend that the city spend monies out that were not budgeted for in the current fiscal year in order to make that happen if you want it done in this fiscal year.
Do we know what a contract would look like for a pro shop?
Yeah, we just got through doing one. PJ's.
Well, I mean, I don't know the particulars of it. He would just incur all costs and keep all profit and then pay a rent. So
He paid a rent based on the square footage, and he paid a portion of the utilities, I believe. And he took all the risk for the staffing of the shop. He took all the risk for the purchase of the merchandise. He set his own prices, and he got all the profits and the proceeds.
But if we ask the city to spend money out of the contingency, then they would get all the profits and everything, right?
Correct.
So why don't we ask that question first, making a motion that the city take $50,000 out of the contingency, open
That's
it.
the easier route for sure.
And
And it doesn't need to be 50,000.
Yeah, and I
That's
think
just a ballpark.
if denied by the city, then we can come back.
Right.
Correct.
I think
Cool.
if you
Oh,
do
yeah.
a contract, especially with Jared, I think you'll have a hard time. He's not gonna want just a 6-month contract.
Exactly.
Right.
You know, he's gonna want 2
Yeah,
years.
I was thinking that
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 wouldn't
might
make
just be
sense.
cleanest and quickest
Yeah.
to get it filled.
Right.
But, yeah.
So I recommend, or
Well,
I,
that's the thing, it won't be clean or quick.
Right. Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
not
I see what
like-
you're
And
thinking.
gentlemen also, ladies and gentlemen, also keep in mind that contract could be put out to bid.
Right.
Yeah.
And did bid, and then you're asking that vendor to take the risk of stocking that
right.
facility for a contract he may not hold in 5 months.
Correct.
So
Might
my
take 2 months to
recommendation
get it done.
that I'm gonna put out there is that we ask the city for money, 50,000, and then let the city golf pro run it,
With city employees.
right, and with the profit, turn that into next year. And then the city will get paid.
I second that motion and just a little add on to that,
Mm-hmm.
because I think having the business consolidated in one location and not buy golf equipment over here.
No,
and
me too.
Check in a tea time over here and have that be separate.
Yeah,
I
it
think I think that's doing a disservice to it.
Right, I think it should be just like
So,
TJ.
yeah.
You know, when they walk in, they see Chris, they
Yep.
rent their cart, they pay a fee, and then,
Yeah, a second.
Well, we can't be afraid if the city's gonna tell us no, because
Right.
they're gonna tell us no.
Know a lot.
And then we can go down the road with contract.
Exactly.
Okay.
I think we also should remember the city works slow.
yeah.
Yeah.
Very.
Yes.
So, but we
Yeah,
just get it.
Kind of went back though. So we saved for 50 grand. Chris, you kind of chimed in and said it's probably not going to be that much.
Not with the city, right?
So we need to know kind of.
We're not stocking high-end items.
Correct.
We need
All
to.
right, I'm a custom fitter.
Right.
I have demo days. I have a tailor-made demo day. You're able to purchase that stuff. It's the same thing we do at Golf Galaxy. We are the Golf Galaxy of Mount House.
Right.
All right. And we need balls, tees, gloves. This is an immediate item that needs to be fixed. Rental clubs. It creates slow play. Okay. People playing out of one bag. We got people coming there and for a tournament and they need clubs to play with. That's a no-brainer. That needs to be fixed. I need clubs for juniors that they can take to the range. You have a rental fee of $30 for 18 holes for the rental clubs. 4 sets of men's, 1 lefty, 3 right-handed.
Yeah, we understand what we need.
Yeah.
I mean, that's,
And-
you know what we need.
And that's a source of revenue.
But what we
because-
need to figure out is how much money we need to ask the city in
Yeah.
order to provide that for you.
Yeah.
Well, I think
Start
that-
low.
That's where I'm
That's
going
not
because,
quick,
because
you know,
the
right.
city's gonna want to know. Okay, well, 50 grand, and I can tell you just seeing some of the meetings already is that it's already 50 grand is a lot of money that they're not gonna want to fork over. So could we get away with half of that for right now?
Right.
Okay.
Can we say 25 grand gets us started?
That's what we need to eventually have to rotate and roll over. Because TJ did 170,000 merchandise sales.
Yeah, I think too, like that might be just a little bit too in detail for this board, to be honest. Like, if we just say that I think the best setup for the community, we recommend the best setup for the community be the city-run pro shop, and Chris and council can figure out the number and what that looks like.
You write down what you need right away.
Well, I've already
Yeah.
got
Yeah.
that.
Take her smile.
You already-
Yeah, we're not guaranteeing that it's.
I've already established accounts with every rep.
Right, but what,
It's an accident we have.
So,
It needs to be done.
so you made the motion,
Mhm.
okay? I seconded the motion, so we need to vote on it. So, Brenda,
yes.
Scott,
Aye.
me, Anthony, aye, Alex.
Aye.
So all we need to do, we need to say how much we want. No.
No.
I think that's
Open-ended, saying that
Chris
the
knows.
city
I
council
trust-
needs to work with.
Okay.
Yeah, I
You're
trust
better off
Chris.
to leave it open-ended,
Yeah.
because if you ask for a figure, they're always gonna go lower.
Okay.
But I trust Chris to advise them on what's needed and what's absolutely needed, and you
Okay.
can probably give a good, better, best, and like, I just don't need to worry about it.
Yeah.
I would make a recommendation for Chris though, is that I would come to have some number, like a startup fee. And I don't go for the 50 grand, I would say make it to where it's just getting our foot in the door.
Right.
And say, this is what we need, balls, tees, gloves.
Yeah.
And the high important items that that is going to move and get rid of fast.
And that's where it's important to work with all the tournament groups.
Yeah.
Correct.
Shoes, I've seen lots of people come in and buy shoes right off the bat.
Blake was here Sunday meeting with me.
Yeah.
And then number 3, so new tea time reservation system, software ForeUp.
Go, Chris.
Yeah, tell us more about that.
I'd like Jeff to be involved in this because he had a proposal, and it's really at no cost.
Okay.
To the city. All right. We had issues with our Golf Now system, and I installed ForeUp. The city got a ball bid. I was there when they did it. Okay. The Golf Now doesn't interface with our credit card system, but you're still going to be using Golf Now because Golf Now interfaces with ForeUp. All right, so it will be a cashless property where you can book your tee time online on an app, and people are prepaid before they get here. And somebody no-shows us, we've got their money. It's another simple thing.
Now, is that gonna be able to,
Oh, it also runs tournaments and leagues for you.
what about people with passes, season passes,
yeah.
that kind of stuff?
We're going to have a database.
Okay.
All right, a database that everybody plays golf at this golf course.
Okay.
All right. There's an emergency close. I push a button, it sends out to everybody, call you residents, every resident, every person that's played golf there knows, hey, we have a golf course closed today due to a water leak.
What if I
Breaking
don't,
stuff.
what if I don't want to get on the app? What if I just want to come
You
in
can
and
still
say,
call.
okay,
And ForeUp, it's also an inventory system too, so you can plug in all your pro shop inventory. You can, there's a lot of, and you can create line items, like if you want to sell season passes to the golf course.
Oh, yeah.
We should.
You'll be able to buy your passes online.
Yeah.
Well, anything beats what we've got now, so I would absolutely recommend that.
Jeff, you want to add anything?
Well, the only other thing that we need to worry about is if we're still under contract under Zen still, which I have not notified that out, and or with the credit card system that the city has, if we can change that, because they have integrated credit card systems. Is that not right, Decker?
You guys,
Yeah, it is.
it's part of the fun of being a liaison, because all the questions you're asking are administrative.
Yeah.
All the questions you're asking me are not in my bailiwick.
Okay, so
That's
we
the
need to find out
gotta
from
go back
Paul.
to the city staff.
So I just have a quick question for Jeff and Chris. Will moving to the ForeUp software system increase the golfer community experience at the golf course?
Oh, by all means.
Yes. And not only that, it's going to increase rounds.
Okay. I move to recommend ForeUp software system.
What's the cost
Second.
of that?
what's the cost?
Okay,
We'll let Chris and the council worry about that.
so it's
Only
currently
worked in
going to be,
agreement.
it's a tee time that we get. Like for golf now, it's from 11 a.m. to 11:30. So they're able to get hot deals on that, but that's all cost the city.
It's something that you're currently already doing.
Right,
Yes.
It's just
But in
it's a
effect,
better
right.
operating system
correct.
that will operate everything we need to do from an inventory control standpoint and tournament operation standpoint. It's a no-brainer. Now I have a list of all the cities that have this.
We believe you.
Oh yeah, it's
We're good.
Still real.
every day.
Get out of the dinosaur ages.
Yeah.
Which is good, yeah, but there's still a lot of people that.
No, I agree with you.
don't
We are
want
in the dinosaur ages.
to be on a
So
computer.
We need
Yeah,
to
you know,
upgrade.
you can still call them.
That's how
We're not turning anybody away.
No, I know that, but I'm just saying, I wake up that morning and I go, we should go golfing.
I want a problem of a waiting list.
You can go online don't mean, you go online, you can look and see what available tee times are actually on too.
Right.
Oh,
And that,
Oh, yeah.
so
Yeah, I
you
didn't know
can
that.
get up and say, yeah, I think 11:30, I'll be able to go golf. And then you call other people and you make arrangements. Then you book it.
Yeah, you just push your button. You got that time.
I second it.
we already got that.
So, Brenda, do you
Yeah.
vote aye?
Aye.
Scott?
Aye.
May?
Aye.
Anthony? Aye. Alex? Aye. Moving on to discussion item 4, setting a rental club fee. So my first thought is, do what you feel. I don't have a recommendation.
Mr. Chairman, I'll remind the committee, they cannot set fees.
Right. Yeah.
The city needs to recommend a price so I can rent clubs. Okay? So we need to be able to, the city needs to be able to rent golf clubs.
Okay, so my recommendation is the city needs to come up with a price to rent the golf clubs.
Exactly.
Cause, yeah.
Let me
Yeah,
make
golf
sure here I
will
understand
provide
what
the
you're
ordinance,
asking
yeah.
for. Am I clear right now, the city does not own any rental clubs?
Correct.
Correct.
Okay,
So
so you're
just-
setting a fee for something you don't have.
Right.
Yeah, so
So
Just checking.
I would say,
They're knocking it out for whenever they.
I think this
we
needs to
can
be
table.
tabled.
We can table this item until we know that we actually get, like, the golf course is getting money for the pro shop, and then
Right.
that can be discussed at a later time.
I would say, like, I don't even think that item belongs with us.
Anything that you think is not something this group should take action on, simply table it indefinitely.
Okay.
I moved to table that definitely. Setting a rental club fee. So, and the reason for it is, like, I think that now that we have the pro shop and all that stuff handled, I think you know what that should be, and you can recommend that to the council as a pro. Like, you know, I trust that you handle
Oh,
it.
it's inexpensive for other places.
Cool.
Well, that's what Mountain Home
Oh.
is also. We've got to be careful not to try to start to price out and pretend like we are Boise. We're not.
What's the last one?
Formal vote on that too, Decker,
Yeah.
to table
Okay,
indefinitely.
table it, yeah.
Okay. Okay, so move to table setting rental club fee indefinitely.
Mhm.
Somebody second.
Second.
Okay.
I got that one.
Go ahead.
Brenda? Scott?
Aye.
Aye.
Anthony, aye. Aye. Discussion item 5, establishing future meeting date. I'm just gonna go with that. I think we have a lot to discuss. I moved to do 2 weeks from today at 6 p.m.
Is that May 17th?
Maybe next, 2 Mondays. We've established Monday was the best day for the council, or for the board.
May 18th. The date.
May 18th? I'm good for that day.
I'll be at the section PGA meeting in Meadow Falls. So,
Can they do 2 a month or 1 a month?
I thought it was one
I
of
thought it
them.
was one a month.
I think 1 a month was the minimum, and you could meet as much as you needed to.
You can put that down as a date, and if there's an administrative issue with that, they'll contact you and let you know.
Cool.
So next meeting, May 18th, 6 p.m.
What, okay, time.
6 p.m.
6 p.m.
I'll be at my PGA meeting in Meadow Falls.
6 p.m.
It is at 6, my meeting is at 6 p.m. I don't need to be here, I'm not on the board.
Okay, we'll just talk about him.
That's fine.
Okay.
Good thing.
Vote, we have to vote on that?
It is listed as an action item, so yes.
Yes, okay, so I move to set the next meeting date for Monday, May 18th, 6 p.m. Is there a second?
Second.
Brenda?
Aye.
Scott?
Aye.
Aye.
May? Anthony, aye. Alex?
Now, that being said, let's do a little more admin, open meeting law thing here. That means your agenda has to be posted
Right.
for the public to see. I would say not later than the Thursday before.
Okay.
So agenda items you want on your agenda, you need to make sure you've got those listed and submitted to Tiffany so that the agenda can be presented and properly posted in order to avoid a open meeting law violation. In which case they won't do that, they'll simply cancel the meeting if you don't get it posted in time. Right? They won't cross that line.
Okay, so let's move to item 6, or discussion item 6, alignment with maintenance and golf pro.
One quick other point of order. everything on your agenda from this point on is a discussion, non-action item. Since it's a non-action item on the agenda, even if you come up with a recommendation, you'd have to bring it back, you'd have to table it, and bring it back in your next meeting as an action item to take a vote on it.
Okay.
Okay? Just letting you know, kind of process.
Okay. Yeah, and this, so a little bit of discussion. This, I would just, for me, we've just ran into talking with Jeff, and I would just like to see a mechanism or a space for the men's and women's associations to get with Jake, Pro, Jeff, just to align where we're at. It's like we were creating our men's league schedules in a silo, not really knowing what was going on with maintenance, what was going on with the green irrigation schedule,
Yeah, you guys
and tournament schedule.
contact me anytime you want.
Yeah. So I would just like, so that's what I brought the non-action item for. Just a discussion on that. See if anybody had any other thoughts regarding that.
I think we should be able to call them anytime we want.
I'm here for you.
I'll give you my wife's number. No, anytime workout.
Yes, but your salary.
Unless it's
84 hours a week. Yeah, what does that look like? Do we like?
I'll give you my city cell.
So in the future, as men's league, are we going? We're getting with the golf pro. We're getting with both of you.
I would think that that's kind of like, since you guys are, well, let's just hold a meeting with the ladies league and the men's league. Like, I don't see a problem with that.
Okay.
Like before the season starts,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Like the ladies league, are you guys on the board? Or the president, what do they call
Yeah, we're the
Yeah.
Women's Association.
them?
President.
President,
I'm
and
the-
you're the men's, right? So we're already here,
Right, yeah.
technically. So, I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think in the future, I'd like to see it broadcast a little sooner, because I'm still running into guys going, what? That's starting already?
Yeah.
What? People don't know, yeah. They don't know. They're clueless right now.
Yeah,
Even
and
though-
that is broadcasted on your new reservation system.
Yeah.
Good. Good.
Creating the database.
yeah, I'm up for if you guys want to meet, like do another, like, I don't want to have another, I mean, meetings, right?
Yeah.
Whatever to get before the season starts, before you get, so you guys can plan, maybe January, whatever, you know, whatever's best. I'm up for whatever, you guys can,
Yeah.
I mean,
I think it'd draw a lot more, is what I'm saying, because there's a lot of guys that had no idea we were starting, like.
get it out a few months early.
Yeah.
This week.
Wednesday.
Yeah. Tomorrow night. The
I mean,
Women's
typically
Association
this,
starts.
I usually have this done in January. I tend to do it in
Okay.
December to try to get it ready. So, I mean, I'm good whenever you guys want, on my
So
side.
maybe we should go December.
Yeah.
Then, based on when you have that out,
Yeah.
right in the public, so that way. Okay.
I think, Alex, you have my phone number, don't you? Yeah, so I mean, you guys want my cell, I'll give it to you, I don't care. I see y'all at the golf course, you can just. give
Oh,
me
I
a word
got your
and say,
cell.
you know,
I
I
got
need
it.
you over here, you know? I
Right.
know
on
that's
the
what you guys do when I drive by.
We'll ride it on the bathroom
Mow
wall.
those damn greens.
Yeah, by the way, will the back being mowed properly?
Hopefully tomorrow when the mower's fixed.
Jake, what is your phone number?
That's being recorded.
Okay.
Yeah,
What,
good catch.
Write it down.
Okay, so should we move on from 6 then?
Yep.
Yeah, I
Can we
think,
just consider that tabled then?
yeah, I'd say tables indefinitely. I would put on to vote on it, it's not actually, right?
Yeah, you don't have to table it, it's just a discussion.
Just
item.
cool
Get ready
discussion
to
item.
move on.
Perfect. Moving on.
So 7, I think, honestly, I would like to push this stuff, this would be more of a month vote, till our next meeting, 2 weeks, the last few items. I think it's just more about like operationally how we as a board would operate.
Mhm.
I agree.
And yeah, I think it was getting in the, so for me, I just like to have a target, like we have a purpose, like even tonight we have to realign our purpose all the time, but like, you know, I see it as the same like sense, like to recommend the city to create or enhance the golfer experience at the golf course.
Right, I agree with that. But right now, we can't really do much until they create a golf pro position for 2026.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, that has to be first and foremost. Just looking at number 8, where it's a prioritization chart, that should be number 1. You got to get that out of the way.
Yeah. Well, I think, that comes with, because how do you create priorities? You don't know what your goals are. How do you know you're reaching the goal if you don't have a metric to measure that? And then how do you know your goals are in service to your purpose? You kind of got to go. And, I think that's a whole other meeting in itself rather than not a tail end of this one. If that makes sense.
Start off with
Yeah.
this.
Yeah. So I think that would be our,
If we could go another hour
I think move 7, 8, 9 to action items.
next week, or
Our
next meeting.
meeting. Is that, what do you guys
I
think?
would agree with that.
I'm good with whatever you guys want. I think
Yeah.
someone's got to get that to Tiffany or someone to make the agenda, right? I don't-
Well, that and that recording needs to be transcribed.
Yes, I will,
You are still recording, right?
yes.
Okay.
Okay, and so, I think we move to item 7.
Oh, I thought we moved on. I thought we were closing. Sorry.
Well, we'll formally set the agenda for next meeting.
7, 8, 9 are being moved to the next meeting.
I think part of the agenda for next meeting, I think we should lead off every meeting, with a review of financials. Just to gauge where we're at, where we're coming from. Maybe we don't have to do it this next 2 weeks because we're still in the month of May, but next month.
Next month will be.
Yeah. I think so. Okay. So next meeting we'll go over, we'll skip over the financials. Will we have a city input issues section? I guess it always starts call meeting, intro.
You may wish to consider moving that to the bottom of the agenda and calling it staff reports, like they do on the city council agenda.
Perfect. Yeah.
Or just cancel altogether.
Gee.
I think that you talk about the city input issue.
Ah,
Well, I think the two, I think there is merit in that. I mean, if there's something that maybe we have it on there and it maybe not be a mandatory thing and we let you know that we would like you at this one for questions or something like that.
Oh, no, I'll come to all of them just to make sure.
Okay.
I just.
Well, your input is helpful because we're all new at this right here. So it is very helpful.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so
I have just for me, I just have our discussion item, move it to action item 7, 8, and 9 for the meeting, for the agenda next week. Or next meeting.
Next meeting. That's what I have down.
And then, what would you call it, staff, and then after that, staff input issues.
Correct. Yep, that's what I have down.
Would anybody else like to add anything or discuss in our next meeting? It's kind of a high level, but I think once we delve into it, we'll start seeing some granular ideas and recommendations come out of that.
Yeah, I think first and foremost, we've got to figure out what we're doing with Chris here. I mean,
Yeah.
get him squared away first, because then everything else will fall in place, right?
Yeah.
Right now, kind of out there.
Chris or Jake, would you like us to add anything to the agenda for next week?
I'm good.
I won't be here. Can we solicit to amend people's opinions in attendance?
Do we want to, because of the recommendation,
Comment period.
Yeah, we don't want to open that
so, so for the recommendation on pulling the money, is there anything that we want to read over, like, or what are we doing this?
Pulling my way
For the contingency for the workshop? What is the next steps on that?
No, I think that our recommendation, we just have to, it's formally recognized in the minutes.
Right.
And then I honestly, I don't feel like it's our place. Like,
To put a price tag on it? I
No.
don't either.
no,
Right.
I feel like
Right.
it's, Chris knows what, I trust Chris and his experience, and he knows what's needed, and
Well, you're not gonna get your price tag anyway, I
Right.
guarantee you that, so.
yeah.
There's
And
no point in even arguing one until we actually find out where they're at on the possibility of opening that.
So, you guys might know, I just want to clarify. So then, you guys are gonna recommend, right,
Mhm.
to the mayor, Tiffany, City Pro, and Pro Shop?
The president is.
we did, right?
We still
No,
have,
you gotta
You
send
just
it.
passed it here. You
we
said-
passed it here, we still have
You
to.
have to write a letter.
Go to the city council meeting.
All the recommendations that we had tonight.
I got it. I got it.
Yeah.
So you volunteered.
I got it. I'm good. Yes. Get that one.
I motion that we adjourn the meeting.
Second.
Brenda says aye.
Scott said.
Aye.
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 We're now
Party's over.
adjourned.
The pen? Oh, I've never seen them there.